Okay, I'm Karin Crawford with TCO Technology, a technology matchmaker, and you can go on to the next slide. Since I'm becoming president, I thought I would let you know a little bit about me and spend a little more time on that in the presentation. So, on the upper left is me and my husband last year at our 30th anniversary lunch with family. And then below that, my sisters and me and my mom. And my dad passed away last October. And the center picture is when we were scattering his ashes. Family's super important. And we love gathering at Thanksgiving and Easter and holiday, Christmas, all of the holidays. And my husband's parents went to the University of Michigan. So if you hear loud shouting on a Saturday from our house, it's probably during a Michigan game. So, and we're going to see them this weekend and watch it together. They live in San Diego. Okay, next slide. And this is my dad and his dog Shadow. And Shadow is a cuddler and a lover, and we have him now. So come on, we can do a one-to-one at my house and you can get some snuggles. Next slide, please. And so my dad and my granddad both started public gardens. My grandfather started the Arboretum at the University of Wisconsin, and there's a horticultural gardens named after him that has amazing lilacs. If you're ever in Wisconsin in May, go smell the lilacs. And there's a cottage on the Wisconsin River where we always take sunset pictures. So that's one of my heart happy places. And then my dad started the West Virginia Botanic Garden. And so that's where my love of nature came from, was totally in the family, but also starting things and being a catalyst. And so that shows up in my life in lots of ways too. Okay, next slide. And as Sierra mentioned, my spiritual life is an integral part of my stability and my hope and my peace. And I love praying. So if anybody ever needs prayer or wants to pray, just hang out in a peaceful place. And then the gardening and nature, the middle picture is my yard, and the upper right picture is the house that my dad created. And one of my sisters and I, who grew up together, helped build the house. Next slide. And then with God's Garden Treasures, you heard a little bit about that. The thing that I wanted to mention is that in those 19 years, I was in BNI most of that time, and I still have connections with hundreds of people from my florist work. And I love going back and reconnecting with people that I've known for years and then introducing them to you. Okay, next slide. So how did I get from florist to technology, and what is that about? When I was in a florist and in BNI, TCO Technology, the leader, Doug Hill, was in my BNI chapter, and I had tech issues that I wasn't sure how to solve. So I went to him, he solved them and brought me solutions on a silver platter. It was so awesome. And so then when I had health issues, pivoted out of my business, and I went to my BNI people like Christine is doing, looking for work. And Doug said, you know, you've been sending us referrals, because I was super excited. When I'm excited about something, I'll talk. And so they invited me to join the team, and here I am. And my dad was an early tech adopter too. So that I didn't fall far from the tree with that either. Okay, next slide. And so TCO Technology, we're technology matchmakers. We have hundreds of vendors in all these different areas that you see on the screen. And my goal is to bring an elevated experience when searching for new tech solutions. And if you've ever purchased a car with an auto broker, that's what I like to compare it to. Instead of running around to dealers and looking online and searching for cars, and spending hours and hours and looking at a lot of things that aren't really a good fit, an auto broker will find out what you want and drive it up to your driveway and bring the papers, and you sign it on the hood So much easier. And I have loved using auto brokers, which we could use one in the chapter. So think about that if you know one. And next slide, please. So I'll highlight a few other areas. Our all-in-one business software, we have 3 different options. So we want to help business owners simplify their day-to-day, usually cut costs on their software spend, and then build systems that support their current business and their growth. Go ahead. And what does it mean for it to be an all-in-one business software? It means that it brings marketing tools, scheduling, payments, communications with clients, document signing, all the things, all in one platform. Instead of having to have 10 different tabs open, you can have one tab open and do all the things. And I use one, and I am a total believer myself. Okay, next slide. And what you might see or hear when interacting with a small business who would like to have, who would be a good software referral, is they're disorganized, they're using invoicing in Word, or they use Calendly for scheduling, they miss meetings, or they're adding new team members or new virtual team members. Okay, go ahead. And then this types of industries that are a good fit for all-in-one software, look at this list and find 1 or 2 of those industries that are good fits for you as well. And let's collaborate. I've loved collaborating, and I enjoy collaborating with Michelle in the health and wellness. And a bunch of us collaborated on the Realtor Summit. I'd love to do more of that. So find one, reach out to me. Let's figure out how to co-prospect and bring more referrals to each other. Okay, next slide. And then with voice over IP, telecommunications, and internet accounts, the big thing I want to highlight is that we can negotiate rates that are not available to the general public because we have longstanding relationships. That's where TCO Technology started. We have clout that a single business on its own doesn't have. And so what to look for is someone juggling 2 cell phones, or employees are asked to use their personal cell phones, or they're moving locations. Next slide. So with IT support, tech support, MSP relationships, we have multiple vendors, and the visitors that have come recently in this area, I'm talking to and inviting to come back because I would love to have them in this chapter. When a business owner complains about something broken or cancels a meeting because they have to fix their IT challenge, that's a great referral. Or also a growing business is a good referral as well. Next slide. Hotel smart room technology. Did you know that 75% of existing hotels will seek smart room technology in the next 3 to 5 years? This is the land of opportunity. And so not only hotel owners or GMs, I'm realizing experienced travel agents are also great referrals for this, if you know any of those, or hospitality team members. And next slide. And good referral partners. Again, with these categories or professions, if you find that these professions are a good fit for you as well, let's collaborate and reach out to them and invite them to our chapter. And some of them, like Rose Willis, is here today as a business broker. So we're super excited. And Ivan joining our chapter. Yay. Okay, next slide. So my passion is to make others successful. I love to make introductions, love to collaborate, and I really believe that a rising tide lifts all ships. There's business for everyone, and in BNI, we can help each other succeed. And my last slide. The best technology is aimed far enough in the future that it stands out, and close enough to the present that it blends in. And we are turning tech headaches into business growth. And I didn't pay attention to the time. How much do we have time left, or are we done?
You have like 1 minute left.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you a couple stories then. One story is a CPA whose previous IT person She reached out to me on LinkedIn. She had a server that was set up that only allowed 2 logins to her financial software where she ran her whole business, and she had 5 team members. Think of the struggle that 3 people had to log out and do something else instead of the main thing. So and she knew, some IT companies, and they said they would help her, but they never called her back, probably because their ideal client was larger. And so she reached out to me and she said, "If you can get somebody that can do this and will call me back, I will yes, we'll move forward." And so we did, and we found 3 different options that were all good fits, but different types of solutions, so she could pick the best one for her, and then she picked one and moved ahead. And then another story is a gentleman, I was just doing a one-to-one with him, and he looked at what was behind me, and he saw app development, and he said, "Yeah, I have a goal of doing an app this fall to roll out Q1 of next year." And I said, "Great, I'd love to." So I recorded his information, reached out to a bunch of app companies. So instead of him having to spend hours and hours researching different app development, he could keep building his business. I brought 3 appointments to him, and he's moving forward getting quotes from 2 of them, and then he'll be able to pick one that will, meet his timelines and his budget. So those are a couple of stories. Thank you very much.